So on Tuesday, Brian Gumbel's Real Sports with Brian Gumbel, he had a virtual discussion panel to discuss the COVID-19 pandemic, and his guests were the Player Association leaders from MLB, NFL, and the NBA, and those being Tony Clark from MLB, Michelle Roberts from the NBA, and DeMar Smith from the NFL. Now, of course, as we see throughout the country, there's different phases and different states are reopening. And so the discussion was whether or not it would be feasible or safe to restart either the NBA, Major League Baseball, which is already going to go into the second month of not playing since the original start date was obviously late March, early April, and the NFL with DeMar Smith. They reluctantly feel it might open, or I should say, more optimistic that their season will open on time because they do have a little more time. Basically, to wrap up the whole episode, it was a back and forth of concerns with player safety. One of the main highlights I thought that came in from, I believe it was on the side of DeMar Smith, he started getting some feedback, as well as from the NBA with Michelle Roberts, that a lot of the players, both in the NBA and the NFL, have both stated that they're concerned since some of what we're seeing in different states or high volume states like New York, that the virus has mutated somewhat and started having a certain mutation of the virus affecting young children. And so that was the main concern, that potentially if a player's asymptomatic brings it home, not only will he infect his family, but possibly small children. So that's another concern that occurred this week that actually kind of pulled Michelle Roberts a little bit, and they polled her and basically said, we don't know what we're going to do. We were more optimistic even a week ago as we are today, and mainly that has to do with concerns of the players. Without the players, there is no season. And so the players are concerned, what's the likelihood of the season happening on time? And so at the end of the discussion, it was whether or not the season will start for the NFL, Major League Baseball, or continue from the NBA. And so, though they're optimistic and trying to put on a good face, none of them were above a 6 or 7 in terms of the possibility of a season starting. At least from the players' perspective, whether or not the NFL, Major League Baseball, or the NBA PR department spins it differently, there shows that there's hesitation. There's no doubt these players want to play because that's what they do best. But there is hesitation, there is pause for concern whether or not any of these seasons will take place. And so that's just something I wanted to throw out there. And keep in mind also that today Major League Baseball balked on a proposal by the league to prorate even further the player's salary. And one of the main reasons for that was veteran players who are still holding on, to the league and playing Major League Baseball. Their minimum salary, a veteran's minimum salary, is $563,000, which is probably way beyond anybody listening here will ever make. But that small amount in terms of the Major League Baseball pay wants it being reduced even further, and there are estimates that amount will be prorated to probably more than 50%. And so when you consider how much money there is in baseball, how much money the owners make, how much money the ESPN channels make through advertising, selling, and put it on baseball, basically there's tons of money out there. Even if it was a shortened season, there's money that's going to be made because everybody's going to be wanting to go back to normal. TV revenue will continue. There's no doubt they've taken a hit, but the amount of money that comes in from the revenue, that's the issue with the players. And so whether or not that even will happen, I don't know. because it took a step back. I'm sure they're still working out details and reasonings to start MLB season, but at least for today, it took a step back because of the amount of the prorated salaries that owners want to give the players. So just some things to think about, and keep it here on Zenny 62. We'll have further news on the NFL and other sporting events, teams and leagues of see what happens with the COVID-19 crisis. And don't forget to like and subscribe.